Welcome to Fun is Fundamental. Fun is Fundamental is a podcast for those who realize that the enjoyment of life is about having something deep in our souls which lights our fire. It's for those who maybe have lost that fire and feel like they are missing out on the pleasures of life. In each episode, I will share recent fun activities and focus on why having fun is essential for good health. I'm your host, Elenia, and I invite you to take this journey with me and join the pleasure-seeking movement. Hi, welcome to Fun is Fundamental. My guest today is Brenda Winkle. She is an empowerment coach and an energy expert, and she helps people reclaim their lives by reducing stress and feelings of guilt and by increasing their energy and reclaiming their time. She runs the Yes Academy, and she was having a series of events called Feminine Voices Rising. I think she called them Sister Circles. And she is the host of the Waves of Joy podcast. I hope you enjoy our conversation. Hi, Brenda. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I like all these conversations that I've been having with people. So I just would like to hear your take on fun and where you're coming from with it.
Oh, well, this is going to be good because I am very fun motivated. So everything in my life, I try to make into a game because I am highly motivated by fun. And so I gamify things for people in my courses. I gamify things for things that happen in my own house. And even when my daughter was little, she's 20 now, but even when she was little, we used to have this rose bowl. Do you know what a rose bowl is? It's like a round glass ball that you hold flowers in.
Okay.
And I think once upon a time back, in the 50s or something, you used to cut one rose and then you'd float the rose in the water inside the rose bowl.
Okay.
So it's a round globe type thing. And anyway, we used to have this rose bowl. And so we would cut up little tags of paper with fun ideas, and then we'd fold them up and mix them up. And then we'd pull one every day just to see, oh, what are we going to do today? Are we going to go to the park? Are we going to go to the library? Are we going to play with sidewalk chalk? What will we do?
I love that. Yeah, no, that sounds like great fun and like a really a charming way to interact with your children, because people get really serious and feel it, and also like people want to control everything and want everything to be planned. So yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, the control thing, I think that comes up when we're in fight or flight. Like the more stressed we are, the more we want to control things.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that in myself too. So when I start to think about, oh, it has to be this way, my schedule has to be I'm like, oh, that's time for a little break. Because if I'm trying to control all those things, I know that I'm in a stress response. And so then it's time for more fun.
Nice. And what you were talking about doing courses, what do you teach?
I teach a signature course, which means a longer course called Yes Academy, Say Yes to You. And so it helps women and a few men really peel back the layers on the things that they have been saying no to themselves. Mm-hmm. Because they're saying yes to other people. So it's all about learning to say yes to ourselves and learning to not people please and eliminating a little bit of codependency so that we can have capacity for fun. Because one of the things that comes up for a lot of women is I don't have time to have fun because my family needs me, or I don't have time to have fun because I have to work, or I don't have money to have fun. And so I help peel back the layers on that so that we can get people into having those creative, fun experiences. Because if you're not having fun in your life, maybe you're not enjoying it. I mean, truly.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think that fun is like really a centerpiece to like having a life that you really love. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I feel the same way.
I love what you're teaching because I know so many people that are like, yeah, people pleasers, and they're so willing to commit to things for other people, but always put themselves on the back burner. Like they're never a priority for
Yes.
themselves.
Yes. I had one client that said, and this was a male client. This person said that he would drive 2 hours to help a family member put together something for furniture that they needed, but he wouldn't take an hour for himself
Wow.
to go meet a friend.
Oh.
And so I think that that's a very extreme example, but it happens. It happens in households all over the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, even like for myself, like I've, like for example, like I'm like, oh, I want to get healthy, blah, blah, blah. But I'll be like asking my husband to like keep me accountable because it's like, I'm like, if I have someone else to be like, hey, you should do this thing, then I'm more willing to do it. Like I'm willing to, like I think they call like being an obliger or something, like with the four tendencies book. Is that right? I think
I
that's
don't know.
right.
I haven't read it.
Yeah, there's like four like tendencies of like how people do things or why they do them, and like there's like I think the rebel is like someone who won't do something from themselves or other people. And then there's like the one who like can commit to doing things for themselves and for other people. And then there's like the one who, like myself, often who like will do things for other people less likely than for myself. And then there's people that will do things for themselves more than for other people. So yeah, that once I kind of learned that, I was like, oh, that's not surprising at all, but also
Yeah.
it made it so like I at least I could like utilize that a little bit, even if I wanted to also change that and just like be able to do things for myself also. Like,
Right, right. Because we don't want to demonize the parts of ourselves that we have naturally. We don't want to make those bad because that feels terrible. And
mhm.
nobody's motivated by feeling terrible.
Yeah.
But when we can when we can realize that there is capacity for fun and capacity for the time that we need to do the things that we need to do, like for example, exercise or whatever else it might be, it just feels so nice.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like I definitely am able to like go meet friends and like I'm definitely able to do things for myself, but it felt like things like that, like for like the self-care kind of things, or like I was always like self-sabotaging that kind of thing. So I guess that's like part of it was like, hey, if you like if you are here, I can, you know,
Right.
be reminded that I should do this kind of thing, I guess, in a way. But
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't teach this stuff because I think other people need to know it. I started to learn how to do this because I had a problem. I
mhm,
was a people pleaser. Like, I mean, I might have been the queen of people pleasers. I'm not sure. I people pleased my dogs. I mean, everything came in front of me. And
mhm,
so, I think it's very common that we people please. And I know for myself that when I was at the height of my people pleasing, it was because I was seeking external validation.
mhm,
And so I wanted people to notice me. I
yeah,
wanted people to appreciate me. I wanted people to notice what I was contributing.
mhm, yeah. Well, I mean, that's definitely like it's a basic need for us to be acknowledged and noticed. And it's really, I don't know, like it makes sense that like that's a way for us to fulfill that need sometimes, even if it's not like the most, you know, balanced or healthy way, or like it's obviously we want to learn how to have boundaries, and like be able to and it's not selfish. That's the thing. Like so often like people think that it's selfish for us to do things for ourselves, but it's not selfish at all to like, fill up your own cup so that you can, be there for other people.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're pouring from a full cup, you have so much more to give. You're more
Mhm.
patient, you're more tolerant, you have better ideas, you're more creative, you're in the flow, and you are more capable of having fun. And the people in your life, your kids, your spouse, your friends, they like you when you're willing to have fun. I
Yeah.
mean, they like you more, not just you, but I mean the existential you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it lights you up. Like, it's like, who doesn't want to be around a person that's just like feels great and like it exudes from every part of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what else, what are some of the things that you do to help people have fun?
Well, I think there's two questions there. So one question is, how do I help other people have fun? Well, I take them out of their seriousness. We take ourselves so seriously. So I think that playing games is a great way to have fun because you start to laugh. You start to take yourself a lot less seriously. And then being willing to go with the flow and teaching people about being willing to go with the flow, that they can have permission to change their mind, is so important, because when you have permission or from yourself to change your mind, it means you can kind of follow the river of the flow, wherever that's leading. And then you can say, like, for example, this weekend, I knew I was going to a graduation party, and I knew I was going to meet some friends of my neighbor because it was my neighbor's daughter that was graduating. And then I had some things planned for Sunday. But when I got invited to a girls' brunch that turned out to be a burlesque diva drag brunch, I was like, yes, I am clearing my schedule. That sounds so fun. So I cleared my schedule on Sunday, and that's what I did.
Nice.
And we laughed and laughed, and we had so much fun. And I think being willing, if I wasn't willing to change my mind and give myself some grace about, oh, I'm going to do these house things a different time in the week, then I would have missed out.
Yeah.
And I would have been at home while my daughter was working, and I would have been doing laundry and doing meal prep, which of course does need to happen, but it didn't need to happen at the expense of having fun.
Yeah.
Because when I came home, I was so excited and having fun and filled up and rich with laughter from being surrounded by my friends, that it took me no time to do the housework because I was running on the fuel of having fun.
Yeah. As opposed to just kind of dredging through and being like, I'm doing this, like, instead of like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then for me, and I think this happens for other people too, and we don't like to talk about this word, the resentment word. Resentment comes up if we don't take time to have fun.
Yeah.
And we start to resent the people that we love the very most because we tell ourselves that we're not doing the things that are fun for those people, but that's not true. They want us to have fun.
Resentment is such a hard thing, because it's like, it's not even their fault. Like, that you're resenting them because you put yourself in that position. Like, that's the saddest part of that.
Yeah, for sure.
So you talked about that you like to play games. What are some other things that you like to do for fun?
I love walking, and I do it every day. And well, if it's icy, I don't, but if it's not icy, I'm walking. So like maybe 1 or 2 days a year, I'm not walking. And to me, that's really fun because I love seeing the seasons change. I love being present. And I think that being present allows us to have fun because you can notice things. And so if I'm walking by myself, I'll notice the neighbors. I'll notice cute decorations on the houses. I'll notice the kids playing. I'll notice the dogs. If I'm walking with my dogs, they're always up to something.
Sure.
And it makes me laugh every single time that I'm with my dogs. And if I'm with my daughter, we started walking when I first got divorced in 2007. And we have walked after school every day. She's now 20 since then, because it was our time to exercise and our time to connect. And that became just a ritual that I protected in my schedule because it felt so good. So to me, yes, fun is laughter and games. Sure. and doing those kind of things, but fun is also being present, being in the moment, being with the people you love, and just enjoying.
Yeah, that's such a simple thing, but it's really like even those simple things can be really neglected. You know, like people they don't think it's enough. Like they think it's like fun is only like these like big plan things, and like like
Right. It's
everything has to be a
Disneyland.
big deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And yeah, I mean, Disneyland, that's fun too. But so is just going for a walk or
Yeah.
blowing bubbles or sidewalk chalk. I still blow bubbles. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I think it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, bubbles are, I love watching bubbles. They're so beautiful, you know, like the iridescence of
Yes.
them. And yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
And I think that there's an element of unpredictability that comes with fun, which is why it's so intoxicating for us,
Hmm.
because so much of our life is routinized by the routines that we have for our families and our houses and our jobs, that when we're having fun, usually there's something that you couldn't have predicted. And
Hmm.
so being open for that to happen, creating time, creating space for that, I think is really magical.
Hmm. Definitely. Well, yeah, I think that, you know, it's one of the like basic things that with fun is just that it's about being, I think it really is about being in the moment, and it's just about like just yeah, being present. And because if you're thinking about other things, obviously, like you're not actually having fun. That's the thing. Like people can be at parties and like they're like thinking about their to-do list, or they're thinking like about their like ego stuff and da, 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 and then you know they're not actually having fun, even if they're in a situation where they're supposed to be having fun.
Right. Because they're on their phone or they're worried about who am I going to talk to? What will they think?
Hmm. Yeah, that was always like a big problem for me, like when I was a little bit younger, of like when I would go to parties, and if I didn't know like people that well, I'd be like, oh, they're like, oh, what am I gonna say? Do they think I'm interesting? And like, you know, you're just like constantly like just judging yourself constantly, because you're just like you can't just relax and be present and in the moment. And like that it even matters what this person that you probably will never see again thinks of you.
Right. And, I actually had a moment on Sunday when I was thinking some of those thoughts, not exactly, but close. So I'm new to the area. I'm new in my community. And so I know my neighbor relatively well, but I don't know any of their friends or family.
Mm.
And so when I went to this party by myself, I had this moment where I walked in the door of the party and I thought to myself, oh, I feel a tiny bit uncomfortable because as I walked in, my neighbor walked out with their dog. And then the neighbor who I was celebrating the graduation was talking to some other people that were there. And you know how you can read the body language that they're into a conversation and it's not a good time for you to step in. So
Hmm.
I had a moment where I was standing by myself in this entryway and I thought, well, I could just wave hello and meet them back at the house in an hour. And then we could, exchange the graduation gift. Or I could look around the room and see who I can lock eyes with, make eye contact with, and then
Hmm.
go talk to. And I thought, that's what I'm going to do. So I made a point to just look around the room and gazed around and waited until I found someone who met my eye contact. And
Hmm.
as soon as I locked eyes with this person, I smiled and she smiled back.
Nice. Yeah.
And then that was the friendship that was born. And I ended up doing the Diva Drag brunch with her and her friends because they had an extra seat at the table that they'd purchased. And
Nice.
so, I think being willing to be a tiny bit uncomfortable
Hmm.
is part of having fun a lot of times.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have to be a little bit brave sometimes in order to actually have fun. You know, like for this podcast, like there's definitely been things that I'm like, I don't like I'm not sure if I would like this thing, you know, but I'm just like, I'm gonna try it. Like, you know, and I'm like, I've been uncomfortable doing some of the things that I've done for the podcast, but I'm like, so like I will never know anything unless I try something, right? So
Yes,
yeah.
that's so rich. Yeah, exactly. Because so many times we hold off on trying something because we want to do it perfectly. But when we show up and we're just like, hey, I'm going to give it a try, it feels so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Yeah.
for you. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I went into this podcast with the idea that I wanted to do some things that might scare me a little bit, because I have been a person that's really timid about a lot of things. And, like, I feel like I'm scared of like everything. I'm scared of water, and I'm scared of, like the dark, and I'm scared of like, just all these things. Like, and I'm just like, I'm tired of being scared of, things like, there are obviously things that you worry about or scared about in the world. The world's not always great, but do I have to think about it all the time? Or do I, does that mean, like, is that going to stand in the way of me to like living my life and trying things? It's like, I don't want to be that person. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. And there is a vulnerability when you put out a podcast. I felt that way too, because I have a fairly new podcast. Let's be clear. It's brand new. There's like 15 episodes. It's brand new. It's called Waves of Joy. And when I put it out, I thought, I'm doing this because it feels so authentic to me, because I love the ocean. I teach about joy. I teach about accessing happiness. And so it feels authentic, but there was a real vulnerability where I thought, okay, I'm not going to be able to go back and edit my words like I did with my blog and make sure it's perfect. I'm going to have to show up a little bit messy every time.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first episode, I was a tiny bit nervous, but then because we can show up a little bit messy, I think it's a lot more real.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that people often aren't seeking perfection. I mean, obviously, like, there are things like where I'm like, yeah, I like listening to like this stuff like by NPR, like, like that's like super polished sometimes. But like a lot of times the people that you really gravitate towards, that you're like, I want to listen to this person all the time, they're not perfect. They just are kind of just talking, and you're like, you feel like you know them. I don't necessarily feel like I know, some of the people that are, doing these really polished ones. Like,
yeah, I think there's truth to that. And I think we are yearning for connection, perhaps now more than ever, or at least maybe that's just me. But I definitely feel that when I can hear someone's heart, I definitely am drawn to them.
Mm-hmm.
I've said definitely like 3 times.
It's okay. I find myself constantly saying the same words all the time, and I'm like, oh, I did it again. Like when I edit my episodes, I'm just like, oh man, how many times am I going to say this one word? Like, yeah. Congratulations on your podcast, by the way.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I understand the feelings of like, it's not perfect, so that's okay.
Yeah. In fact, it's given me courage to sort of let go of the perfection in a lot of other ways too. I'm not a perfectionist, but I am a recovering perfectionist. I was classically trained as a musician, and there's no such thing as a B+. Like, you do it perfectly or don't do it. That's really the mindset in music, because if you do 90% of the notes correctly and you're doing something with another person, it's not good. It really needs to be 100%. And I can do that. I'm capable of doing that. And I've done it for many, many years in the music business, but it's so much more fun when I can approach different things and without that perfectionism, and find artistry of all types, whether it's talking to people or building relationships or doing something just a little bit messy, but totally with love and joy,
Definitely. What instruments did you play, or do you play?
Well, back in college, I was a clarinet major, but I always wanted to be a choir director. But my parents were instrumentalists, and there was a little bit of a stigma in my family about the vocal majors. They really wanted me to play an instrument. So I played piano from the time I was 5. I still play. And then I played clarinet in college professionally and played in some symphonies around the Nebraska area, northwestern Nebraska and eastern Wyoming. And then I got out teaching, and my first job was K through 12 vocal, instrumental, speech, and drama. So that meant I taught K through 5 elementary music, all the choir, the marching band, the play, the school musical. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's too much.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to be a choir director. So I applied for jobs all over the Nebraska, Colorado, Wyoming, South Dakota area. And I ended up with a job in South Dakota at Sturgis, South Dakota. And I took a job. It was for an assistant band director job. And I was like, well, I don't know if I really want to take a job being assistant band director, but something about this feels right. I'd rather direct choirs, but okay, I'll take it. And so I took the job. And then 2 weeks before school started, I got a phone call and they said, our choir director quit. Can we move you into that position? And I was like, yes, you can. And so for the last like 20 some years, I've focused on vocal music and choirs.
Nice. Yeah. Are you still in South Dakota?
No, I live in Portland, Oregon.
Okay. Okay. You're not that far from me. I'm just north of Seattle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
oh, that's amazing.
yeah. Pacific Northwest. It's just side note, is your spring as terrible as our spring?
Like year? You mean wet and cold?
Yes.
Yeah, it's wet and cold.
Today was so cold. I was just like, how is this mid-June? I don't understand what's happening.
It doesn't feel like it. I saw something on the newspaper, the Oregonian, that we've had 12.5 inches of rain since April 1st.
Oh my goodness.
So like in less than 2 months, we've had 12.5 inches
That's
of rain.
So awful. Oh.
A lot of rain.
Oh, that is a lot of rain. Oh man. Yeah. I'm ready for summer. I have a few other questions, just random questions. What made you really happy this past week?
This past week, I don't know. I'm happy pretty much all the time. And I'm not just saying that. I just make I'm happy because I do things that light me up and make me feel good. And so yesterday I did the brunch with my friends. I'm looking at my calendar. Let's see. Oh, I know what I did last week. I held a challenge. It was called Yes to Me. And so we met for 5 days on Zoom, and there was like 25 women that signed up for the challenge. And then we met on Zoom for 5 different days last week. And it was so fun hearing their stories and hearing their heart. And we had prizes, and that was really fun. And I did that because I came home from the retreat in Boca Raton with Kathy Heller and that group of women from Abundant Ever After and all of the different kinds of programs that Kathy had led. And so I knew that when I came home, I was going to need something to look forward to, because if I don't plan something to look forward to, I can get sad when something ends. And so I like to make sure that I'm always scaffolding my next thing. So I came home on Saturday and then launched into the challenge on Tuesday. And so it was really fun. It worked.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I can understand that. When you have like such a high, then like coming down, it's like, oh,
yeah. So I think that's one other way to have fun is to plan things in advance so you can anticipate having the fun. I think that there's been a body of research, and I can't quote who it's from, but there's a body of research about anticipating fun being almost better than the actual fun.
Yeah, I've heard something about that too, which I could see. Like, I love like thinking ahead, like dreaming about like for example, like I have it's months from now, but we have our bunny moon. We got married last year, but we didn't have a honeymoon, so we're having a bunny moon with friends. There's gonna be 10 of our friends with us. And we're going to Mexico. We have like a beach house, like the beach to ourselves. Like, and I'm just like, every once in a while I just think about it and I'm just like, oh, that's gonna be so great. Like it's it lights me up, even though it's like not until October. I have
I
lots of time to
love
anticipate
it.
it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So I totally get that. That's keeping me going for like forever. Like, oh, I like to ask people what their play personality is. So this is according to Dr. Stuart Brown, and has a book called Play, and he's at the Play Institute. There's 8 play personalities. It's the Joker, the artist, the explorer, the kinesthetic, the competitor, storyteller, collector, and director. And the director is like a person that likes to plan things and have people over and things like that. So like, obviously you can be as many as you are, but I just like to ask people what they think their play personality is.
Well, I can tell you that I'm not the Joker and I'm not the competitor.
Yeah.
I'm not those two things because those don't make me happy. All the other ones, depending on the situation, I could see myself having more of one of those personality types in different situations. So the other ones all kind of resonated depending on, what the circumstance was. I could see any of them fitting except for the Joker and the competitor.
Yeah. For me, like, I love to laugh, but I'm not really like a person that tells jokes or, like, I'm just like, no. So I totally hear that. And then I actually quite dislike competition.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, if we're going to compete, then I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah. Especially because there's some people that take it so seriously and then they become like really angry, or like they become like it's like they're unpleasant to be around if they don't win, and you're just like, this is just taking the fun out of everything. I don't want to be around someone who's acting like that,
I think that's why I love non-competitive games that there is not even a winner, like word games or Heads Up 7-Up. We play that a lot. We don't actually play it with Heads Up. Is it Heads Up 7-Up or Heads Up something?
I feel like it's Heads Up 7-Up. Yeah.
There's some game, and one of my neighbors has like all these party packs on his phone, and so every time we get together, he's opening up a new party pack of these Heads Up games. We don't actually put it on the head. We just have it, as like random team kinds of questions, but they're super fun. And then we have board games and card games and all the things. And we don't ever keep score because it's way more fun not to for us. And I recognize that there's some people who like competition.
Yeah. I mean, like, for me, I'm like, I don't really care if there's a score, because I don't like, for myself, I don't care if I win or lose. But obviously for some people they care. So I'm just like, yeah, just go along with it. It's okay. Like, yeah, for sure. I hear you. When's the last time you laughed so hard that like it like made your stomach hurt?
Yesterday, because, well, it's fairly common for me because things are funny to me. But yesterday there were some things that happened at our Diva Drag brunch that were just so unexpected. They were hysterically funny, and we laughed and laughed and laughed. It was really fun. And then I have this little dog. She is a Chiweenie, and she's a rescue. We just rescued her this last November, and she is very timid in some situations. And in other situations, she is like a circus dog. She spins circles and she runs. And yesterday we had decided we were going to go for a walk. And so she spun circles over and over and over and over and over, all the way from the dining room clear as we were headed to the downstairs area. And then she ran down the stairs as fast as she could and jumped and skipped the last 3 stairs. Now, this is a little dog. She's only like 6 inches tall. And so for her to like fly down 3 stairs was not something I was waiting to see. And that was funny.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be really funny. It's just like, whoa. Yeah. it's too bad it wasn't like on video for everyone to see
I
forever.
know, right?
Like, get a lot of views with that one. What would be your dream vacation?
Oh my gosh. One, one dream vacation. Well, I have wanted to go to two places, and they're both just really high up on my list. One is Angkor Wat in Cambodia, and the other is Machu Picchu in Peru. And I also want to go to Italy. So I'm trying to decide between those three right now. And then I'm like, squirrel. Oh, this sounds fun. We should go here. Oh, this sounds fun. We should go there. Yes, let's take an Alaskan cruise. So I don't know what my dream vacation is going to be, but it will be something really fun and probably include some sort of archaeological something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that stuff is very fascinating. I've always wanted to go to those places too. Yeah, it's hard for me to choose a dream vacation because I just want to go everywhere. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's why I was like, one, yeah, I just want to go see everything everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like a blessing and a curse that like you're just like, I'll never see everything. I have to be okay with that. But well, I guess I didn't ask you specifically, what does the word fun mean to you?
The word fun
Yeah.
means that we're enjoying something.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite comedy feel-good movie? Comedy or feel-good?
I love Under the Tuscan Sun because it's such a happy ending. It's got some funny stuff in it, but I wouldn't consider it a comedy.
Sure.
I just watched The Lost City with Sandra Bullock, and that is so slapstick funny. We laughed and laughed and laughed. I wouldn't consider it a feel-good movie though. Sure. I mean, if you like adventure, then yes, it would definitely be a feel-good. I don't know. Comedy feel-good movie.
Well, comedy or feel-good. It's like kind of a slash.
Okay, comedy or feel-good. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Under the Tuscan Sun just because I really do. I love that. I love the ending that she had everything she asked for all along, but it did not come how she thought it was going to be packaged.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's a good message, of like, feel like just being able to allow like what what's going to come, and then you'll answer it for you. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure. All right. How about one more question? And then I don't know. I really like this question I've asked people. What makes you feel luxurious?
Luxurious. Well, I think there's tons of ways that you can feel luxurious, like a hand cream. A really, really nice hand cream in the middle of the day can make you feel luxurious. Just like so soft pajamas at the end of the night when you crawl into your really soft, really nice pajamas, that can feel really luxurious.
Yeah.
I think that finding things that are really pleasurable for you, whatever that looks like, is what luxurious looks like.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I asked someone and she's like, I don't like, she was like, kind of like saying like she doesn't like really expensive things generally. And I was just like, it doesn't have to be expensive. What makes you feel luxurious?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Oh, I like expensive things. I'm not ashamed to admit it, but, but I do think there's something about the things that you use a lot being what you want them to be. If you're using a hand cream and you're putting it on your hands 4 or 5 times a day, and every time you put it on and you're thinking, I wish I had or I wish it felt like this, that's not a good way to feel. So however you can put that on and be like, oh my gosh, this is so nice. I love this, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I think that's the mark for me.
Well, I feel like, yeah, that's probably like also feeds like is part of like the saying yes to yourself. Like people settle for things that they don't actually like so often.
Yes. I call that death by paper cuts.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, because I think there's these like the at home clothes. You know how some of us have at home clothes that
Yeah.
we would never ever wear out in public. I used to have a whole dresser full of at home clothes. And I was like, no, I'm not wearing these anymore because when I put them on, I don't feel good. I
Hmm.
feel schlumpy and I feel embarrassed if I go outside and the neighbors see me. So I got rid of them. Well, except I kept one pair because I like to paint. And so I kept one pair that I can, no guilt, get paint on and not worry about it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have at home clothes, but it's more of like really soft, like leggings and things like that. That are just
Yeah.
like, they feel so nice on, but like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like lounge wear. That's not the same thing. I'm talking about the shirt that you only wear at home because you can't wear it in public.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like sad. It's like, why do you want to do that? Like,
We're
yeah.
worth more than that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram at Brenda Winkle. I have the Waves of Joy podcast on Apple, Spotify, and Google. And my website is brendawinkle.com.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being on. It was such a wonderful conversation.
Thank you for having me. This has been really fun. I mean, I've enjoyed our time together.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
All right, I want to talk about a few takeaways from the conversation with Brenda. We talked a lot about, being able to be spontaneous and let go of some of the control that we often seem like we need to have. And then also to be able to say yes to yourself because it isn't selfish to enjoy your life. You only have one life. And so that you need to make yourself a priority. We also need to learn how to stop relying on external validation all the time and, to be able to do things for ourselves. Obviously, connection is important, but to remember that people don't love you because you're perfect. People just love you. And those that don't love you, probably are never going to love you. So we don't need to keep on seeking perfection for us to be accepted and loved. She also talks a lot about, playing games, and to be able to take yourself out of being really serious by turning things into games. Obviously, there's plenty of things that can be serious that, there are things that matter in this world, but so many things that we take seriously don't actually really matter. She also talks about giving yourself permission to change your mind and to be open about things that, you know, just come your way. And, once again, it's about like letting go of control. And sometimes you have to become a little bit uncomfortable for big things to happen because in our comfort zone is not where we grow. She also talks a little bit about watching out for feelings of resentment. And if those happen, that's a sign that you aren't prioritizing your needs and that you need to take those times to be able to prioritize your needs so that you can stop feeling resentful. And she also talks about the joy of, going on her walks and that being really present and really noticing us around herself, around ourselves, is can bring a lot of joy and fun to just really normal everyday kind of things. And then at the towards the end, we kind of talked about showing up messy, doing things messy, and being okay with it being messy because it's honest. And people aren't always seeking perfection from you. So yeah, I think that was kind of, there was a lot of similar themes in the conversation, but she just says things in such a great way, way better than I do. And so I really appreciate her insights into how to live a more joyful life, because she's experienced it. She's taken back her own life, and those that have done have the most insights. So yeah, so I want to say thank you again to Brenda for being here. Yeah, and go check out her podcast, and I left information in the episode notes about how to find her and connect with her. So have a good week. I love you. Have fun. And I'll see you next week. All right. Bye.